Yeah. This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Let's go.
Hi, everybody.
G'day, team.
On the show today, we talk about that time when you had to walk.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge, we love her from The White Lotus. She won an Emmy. Unfortunately, the night before the Emmys, she had a lavender bath, which made her body swell up.
And Nathan gave Shaun a crash course in everything to do with RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes.
Because we were catching up with Hannah Conda.
I'm a full book now. We also had a chat about the king, the new king, earlier on.
This is Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Hit it!
Cover girl, put the bass in
Right,
your
everybody.
mouth.
We are so proud of a special little queen. Her name is Hannah Conda, and she is in the final 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, and she's also the brother of the bin chicken, which
most
makes her
importantly.
family. Hello, Hannah!
Hi, team. How's it going?
Hannah, yay!
So
Yay!
the finale's on Saturday on Stan. Pretty exciting where, you know, you could go all the way.
It's kind of unreal. I didn't think when it started the journey that would be in the finale, but here we are.
I did.
Thank you for having more faith in me than I did. Oh, God. I do have to apologise. My voice is, gone. I was at the Broken Hill Festival on the weekend and was screaming a lot. And then last night, caught up with the other 2 top 3s, Queen and Spanky, and we went out on the town in Melbourne on a Tuesday night.
Jeez,
Well,
so you're literally calling us from a club right now, aren't you? Because we know drag queens don't go home.
babe.
Fresh from the gutter.
Yeah, wrenched from the gutter, and she's, I've had some sleep. Don't worry, I'm a good girl.
Even laughs like the bin chicken. I love it.
I know.
Hey, Hannah, Nathan's been keeping me up to speed just in the last hour or so of the show.
Been a crash course.
Crash course, and the lip sync battles to the death seem pretty full on. Have you been in one of these so far in the show? Because I've not been watching.
Yes, Hannah has.
I have, yes, just before the finale. So it was a bit touch and go there in the last episode. I was like, am I going to get there?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, they like to, they threw me in the bottom just to shake things up, I think, towards the end. But I was petrified. It's scary.
Well, I showed him the one between Queen Kong and Beverly Kills because they were throwing themselves around. But you see, Hannah Shaun is what we call a park and bark. Tell him about that, Hannah.
What's that?
So your park and bark is where you stand still and you deliver, and it's all about the mouth.
Yes.
These two, they were like flipping. It was like Surf D So Gay on the main stage. They were flipping. Yeah, it's wild. Yes.
There was so much body contact in it because they were getting right up each other's grill. And you know what it reminded me of? Because I say, you see little kids when a song comes on at a disco, and I'm talking 4 or 5-year-olds. Yeah. They just start throwing their body everywhere, right?
Everything, yeah.
That's exactly what the 2 girls were doing. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It definitely takes me back to the blue light disco days.
Yes.
But it was always later in the night because when you start the blue light disco, it's just girls and boys separated by just a.
You have to wait for the cordial to kick in.
Yeah, and you hope the cordial is very strong because, you got to go up and dance with everyone.
Now, Hannah, I imagine that it's a very expensive business being a drag queen. You know, the wigs are so elaborate, the costumes are next level. What sort of money are we talking about that you invest into this?
Oh, Dave, as Dolly Parton says, it costs a lot of money to look this cheap. So, some outfits, I think the most I've ever spent on just one singular outfit was maybe about $2,500, $3,000.
Yeah, right.
Geez, that's a lot of sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then but then the best thing is then you just use that until it's falling apart and you make your money back off it.
Sure.
It's all about the business, babe. And so it's a lot of money, but it's well worth the investment.
Let's talk about it being a business because once you're part of the RuPaul franchise, your prices must go through the roof. And not just that, you're open to world tours because RuPaul's got a world tour that happens. And then also the other franchises overseas. I would think that Hannah Conda will be rife to be picked up in one of the either on the American version or one of the world versus the world version. So is it have you noticed that you can charge more now, Hannah, or is Is that happened yet?
Well,
Yeah.
Look, I have upped the price.
Yeah,
I've gone
you have.
50 cents. I've upped it 50 cents.
What's the cost of living?
You're worth
cost of living,
Upset
Hannah.
50 cents.
You're worth
thank you. Thank you, babe. But yeah, look, it's really lovely, like, to be able to have that sort of platform so you can boost the prices a little bit. And yeah, I'm so open to going back onto the show if they want me. I had a great time doing it. It's a lot of stress, but I would definitely be open to it. But yeah, I think the goal now is to tour the world, and I can safely say that the top three, aka the Babs, because that was our girl group name.
Yeah.
While we were on the show, we're staying together. The girl group lives on.
Oh,
okay.
There's a scoop.
Yeah.
Spanky Jackson, Queen
Yeah.
Con, and Hannah Conda.
All right, get the passports
Yeah,
out. It's
so-
happening.
We love each other so much, and we're such, and last night proved it. We're good gal pals. We're going to keep the band together.
What are we actually playing for, Hannah?
Yeah, what's the prize?
For the prize.
So, $50,000,
And some makeup.
a year's supply of Anastasia Beverly Hills cosmetics, and there's probably someone else.
A year's supply for you girls is a lot, I would
that's
say.
that's
you know.
7 trucks.
Yeah, that's right.
But what it does, like
It's
I
the
said,
profile, isn't
yeah,
it?
what RuPaul's done for drag is unbelievable. Brought it to commercial market. Wins the Emmy every year for best reality show over Amazing Race and stuff like that.
Wow, okay,
just
there you
won
Yeah.
the last Emmy as well. But also turns people like Hannah Conda into businesses. So suddenly, you can lay songs down. You can come up with your own products. You'll be doing probably a web series, Hannah.
Oh, babe, look, I'm open to it all, to be fair. She's open-hearted and open-legged to whatever comes her way. I'm sorry to my Persians. I'm sorry. I was probably too early for that. But it is 10 o'clock here in Sydney, in Melbourne. So
You don't even know what city you're in.
I do have to
No,
say,
I know.
yeah.
Such a blur.
Look,
Such a blur.
We know Hannah. We've met
Yes.
you before, and also
have.
knowing and loving your brother Tim, who's just left us. So
Yes.
we're dirty on him
We're
about that.
devastated.
It's going to be a little influencer, by the way. How
Yes.
good's that?
I know. 100% that Tim. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. He's just like one day, he's like, I'm just starting TikTok. Then next minute, he's like, 60,000 followers
Yeah,
on
and
Instagram.
getting comments from Liz.
Has he got more followers than you, Hannah?
Look, yes, he has.
And his wigs are a lot
He's
cheaper
like-
too.
Yeah, I know. So, maybe I am doing the wrong thing because his followers are through the roof. But I did say to him, I was like, yeah, but sorry, I'm on a internationally loved television show.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she's verified. So what have you got?
She's
Your
Yeah.
parents should be very
Yeah.
proud of you both.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can see Hannah
yeah.
Conda's fine work in the finale episode of a Stan Original Series RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. Season 2 is happening this Saturday, only on Stan. It's a pleasure, Queen Hannah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, my darlings, and I can't wait to come back to Perth and see you all.
I
Yes,
know,
we
and we'll
love
speak to
that.
you after your win.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wink, wink.
Okay. Wink, wink, and I bring the crown back. Oh, that's what we get as well, crown and scepter.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should see where Hannah's going to put
Yeah,
the scepter.
Scepter, exactly. On that
I'll do a
note,
magic trick.
How good is exploring our amazing backyard again?
And ticking off all the Aussie big things. Pineapples, bananas, melons.
Oh, that's making me hungry.
Head to whatif.com and start planning your big Aussie adventure.
What if it's Aussie for travel?
a lovely guy called MJ rescued a horse called Hazel in Tasmania, but she wouldn't get on the float. So he walked her back to his house, 40 Ks.
Yep.
Took 14 hours overnight. They had to rest a lot because Hazel, because she was neglected, she didn't have a lot of energy.
Fitness levels were down now.
That's right.
Okay.
So, all radio awards, take notice of what we're doing right now. We are talking about walking.
Here we are. Angela's in Merriwa. Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Good answer.
When did you have to walk?
Well, on Monday, I dropped my son off at work after a big weekend for him and thought I would stop off and have a walk because it was such a beautiful day.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of walking, but I'm trying to get fit.
Yeah.
And there was a new path, so I thought, right, head off down that path. 4.8K later, I got to the end of it and thought, how the hell am I going to get back to my car now? Because my legs didn't want to move. I had run out of water on a path where there was one person walking in the opposite way 3 Ks back.
Yes.
And I then had to find the main road and took the main road because I was so scared I was going to pass out or something.
So you needed witnesses to collapsing.
Cooked it.
Yeah.
How many hours?
2 hours, I got back to my car, and yesterday I couldn't get off the couch. I have blisters on the soles of my feet today, and I'm sort of moving today, but very gingerly sore.
Oh, Angela, okay, I know you're a beginner, but it's always a good tip to leave something in the tank to get back.
That's right. That's right.
Angela, do you think you'll be going back out again at any stage?
Maybe in a few months' time, but I will take the initiative to turn around when I feel tired.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
sweetheart.
Yes, on an out and back course, it's a trap.
I thought I was going to just walk a flat coastal path. It was not flat. It was up and down, and I was like, I'm going to do this. So, yeah, I'm pretty tired.
And I have to say, you hear about people that go missing for a walk in the bush, but not in Perth.
In the metro area.
Not in and she was lost in Hay Street Mall. And for 4 days, she couldn't be found.
Thanks, Ange. Sarah's in Canning Vale. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Sarah.
When did you have to walk?
Well, me and my girlfriend Tracy, she'll remember this if she's listening, we decided to have a leisurely bushwalk up at Kalamunda. We were walking to Mundaring Weir, so I think it's about a couple of hours, and took a wrong turn. 7.5 hours later, we were quite fine. We sort of had this pact at one point. We were laughing. Up for the first sort of 3 hours, we were sort of thinking it's a bit of a joke. And we said, look, if one of us falls behind, the other one just keeps going and leaves the other one. But after 5 hours, it was not a joke. We ran out of water. We were waving at aeroplanes.
Aeroplanes.
Trying to work out a way. Our GPS was saying, like, you idiots, go back. Yeah. It was horrendous. I lost 2.5 kilos in weight.
Oh, sweetheart. Did you go as far as to spell SOS with rocks? Yes.
That was a plan at one point.
We made a shelter. Oh, Sarah, how are your feet?
You know what? I my feet was good. I had good boots on, but it was really quite scary at one point. We ended up at Mundaring Weir and just drank. Yeah, we did.
And we drank the weir.
We drank at the pub, and we said, "Oh my God, never again." But it was quite scary, actually.
Hey, Sarah, if it came down to the crunch, is it your friend Tracy? Was that her name?
Yeah, Tracy. Yeah.
Would you have left?
Tracy.
Would you have left Tracy?
Well, the first 3-4 hours, we were joking about it, but after 5 or 6 hours, I would have.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
Yeah.
Tracy trips and falls. It's like, I'm sorry, I have to go on.
Wouldn't that be amazing to be with your friend for a walk and then realise the time has come to say your goodbyes?
Yeah, that's right.
Wish each other luck and leave.
We separate here. Amazing. Josie, hello.
Hi.
Hey,
Morning, Josie.
Josie, when did you have to walk?
I went to Hawaii with my other half must have been about 5 years ago, and we found this really nice beach, but it was right at the other side of the island, so we got a taxi there, and had a nice day at the beach, and thought, this is great, and better make our way back now. But my other half went and inquired about the price of a taxi back to our apartment, and he said, "Oh no, I'm not paying that. It can't be that far. We'll just go for a walk and just wander back." Yeah. So I've probably got lots of stories like that where he doesn't want to pay for the money, so he's just like, "No, it'll be fine." Yeah. And we start walking, and an hour goes past, and a couple of hours goes past, and we're walking and getting tired, and eventually he's like, okay, if we see a taxi, you can flag one down. But of course, no taxis came past, and we're in the middle of these residential streets. Yeah. Yes. Had no water, lugging around all our beach gear, boiling hot in the middle of summer, and it must have been about 4 or 5 hours, and finally we found our apartment and got back to where we should have been. And both our feet were so sore we couldn't even walk. There was a shower, I remember, in the bottom of the apartment, and it had like a little bath, but it was like a half bath, and we just filled it up with water, and I just sat there and ordered pizza, and I was like, all for the sake of a few bucks on getting a taxi, because there were taxis there was like a hotel at the beach.
Yes.
But no, so I will never forget that time he made me walk for about 5 hours.
Josie,
he didn't want to pay for a taxi.
Did you realise that you, when signing up for this relationship, also signed up to be a lifelong pedestrian? That must be...
Oh, no, yeah, all for the sake of paying for a taxi. And it would have probably been like heaps cheaper to pay for the taxi rather than get home so tired we didn't want to cook and then order pizza.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Josie, just so I'd like to know, because when we see Hawaii, we just see all these beautiful beach shacks and all that sort of stuff. What do the residential houses in Hawaii look like? Do they look like just normal houses like here? What's it like?
Yeah, pretty much. Like it was just, we find it's just like any residential street, really.
Yeah.
We were just cruising along, looking at every car, waiting for a taxi, but...
Think you think of knocking on the door and asking us, Aloha, can you help us?
No, I don't think I'd have been that brave.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It was the Emmys yesterday.
Yes. Well done to Perth-raised Murray Bartlett, who scored one for White Lotus.
Yeah.
His mum still lives here. It's
Murray.
lovely.
Good on
Yeah, he's fantastic. God, some of the outfits they wear are stupid, aren't they?
They are. So...
I know that when you get to a certain point in fame, you can chuck anything on, and then like it's okay because you're famous. But like, I mean, sometimes someone has in your household has to say, "Hey,
come on, you're not going out dressed like that, are you?
Just go over to the mirror, just have a look at yourself.
Take one thing off.
You look like an idiot."
The dress.
Someone that looked amazing though was Jennifer Coolidge, and she won the most outstanding supporting actress for The White Lotus. She's absolutely brilliant.
She's so good in it.
And this year they're being very aggressive, by the way, with the playoff music. If you go
they're winding you up,
so
mate.
what they've actually done, which is really interesting, they've obviously gotten a list of the people that person would like to thank, and they put that on a scroll down the bottom. So those people get thanked if they don't let you get to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, Jennifer just won everybody over. I mean, she does they try to play her off with the music at the end, and you'll hear that. And just so you know, while that's happening, she just decides to dance without leaving the stage. But she had a few issues getting there. Had something go wrong that was unforeseen with her dress.
I just want to say, I took a lavender bath tonight, right before the show, and it made me swell up inside my dress. I'm having a hard time speaking. I'm not kidding. I just, thank you to my amazing team. Wait, hold on. No, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I'm full. Wait. Hold on, wait. Jacob Fenton, a UTA, and Jonathan Weinstein, and Tiffany Kuzan at Mosaic. And my sister is here tonight. And wait, hold on one thing. Wait, hold on. Okay.
She just starts dancing.
It just goes to show, Jennifer, I wasn't a massive fan, but I loved her in The White Lotus. But
people
she's
don't know
the same person.
that's Stifler's mum.
She's that's the character she plays in every movie.
I don't know her name.
Yeah,
I couldn't pick her up.
That's the character. That's her.
I did see on the news
so
that
that's
she got a
Stifler's
run.
mum.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, and she's brilliant. And also, it's taken her how long to win a bloody Emmy? Like, just let her speak.
And I mean, she's very breathy because of the swollen body situation.
I know, so is that normal? That
I've
lavender
never heard
can
that
swell
lavender
a
baths
person's
have
body up?
That effect on you?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. No, it's certainly not in anything you read on there, but she might. Oh, clearly she's allergic to it.
Maybe she just had a big breakfast and she's trying to blame it on the
But
lavender
isn't that
bath.
terrible, though? Like, say if it's the first time when someone goes, you know what, Jennifer, I know you're a little bit on edge. A lavender bath really calms me
relax
down.
you down.
Go, okay, no worries, never tried that. And then you try it and your body swells up before you go into the
And he's got one dress and he got to wear it. Look out. Friend of mine, the day before his wedding day, so they're getting married on Sunday, on the Saturday, played footy and dislocated his ring finger. So he couldn't. So it was all
the
couldn't
ring
get the ring on. Couldn't get the ring on. They had to put it on a different finger. I think they did. They used the other hand from memory. But yeah, it was like, is that a sign? Is that a sign?
Yeah.
Did it work? Did it work? Have that?
They're still married. They're still married. And years later, they're still married.
I got super sunburnt the day before the school ball, and I went to.
Were you out for 5 minutes?
Seriously, I was out all afternoon coaching volleyball, and red raw, And then my cousin, who was a hairdresser at the time, said, I'll come in and we'll be able to do something for you at the hairdressers. And then this person had this cream, and I don't know what it was, but it was basically white. And she goes, here, this will dull down the redness. Anyway, it just made me Care Bear pink. So I wasn't red, but I was a really aggressive pastel pink.
I'm just radiating heat.
The photos are red, and all the photos are just this aggressive pastel pink, and I'm just sweating because I'm so hot.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
We are talking about what happened to you before the big event, inspired by Emmy Award winner Jennifer Coolidge, who had a lavender bath before the big event yesterday, and then swelled up and her dress was way too tight.
Yeah, and she couldn't really breathe nor talk when she was giving her acceptance speech for her Emmy. Hi, Miriam.
You.
Hi, good
Miriam.
Mate. All right, is this about your daughter?
Yes, it is. So my daughter was playing in her grand final. She had the hair all done up very pretty. She'd been to the beach the day before, got a bit of sunburn, and her lips were really, really dry, and she's licking her lips through the game, and one of the girls came up to her and said, here, borrow, take some of my pawpaw cream.
Yeah.
And she put the pawpaw cream on, went out there, and off she went to play netball, and she turned around and her lips had all swollen up, and she's just looking at us, and her hands are like, Mum, what the hell's happening? And we all started laughing on the side of the court because she'd had an allergic reaction to the pawpaw.
Yes.
And she sort of waved me off and said, I'll keep playing, but when it came to luckily it was at the end of third quarter, she said, no, she can't do it anymore because she was having trouble breathing, but we were still laughing
she
at
was
her
in
anyway.
anaphylaxis, and you're just going, that's funny, look at your lips.
Well, yeah, that was for free too.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, toughen up, princess, you can keep going.
I know.
Like, I can't breathe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you can't see past your own lips, then that's the problem.
It is problematic.
Yeah.
I've got a quick lip story. Just my lips are cracked as anything today. I woke up this morning and I just decided in the dark to put some moisturiser on.
Yeah.
To do the same type of stuff. Okay.
Could have been anything.
Yeah. So I put in the moisturiser. I didn't rub it in. I just put it on so it'd absorb in. And then I forgot and I walked into the IGR in Canning Highway. And then when I came back into my car and the light came on inside, I realised I've got all this.
Oh, looks like that's how. Looks like you got a side job down by the river, Shaun.
Exactly.
Shaun will be in hedge number 3 from the public toilets. Fellas.
Move on to Jess in Martin. Hi, Jess.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, Jess. What happened ahead of the big event, Jess?
So I'm a lifelong horse rider, and 2 days before my school ball, my horse got startled and it threw its head up and smacked me in the face with the back of his head.
Oh.
And so I went to the school. I mean, they did their best with the makeup, but I went to the school ball with a split and swollen lip, a swollen nose, and a black eye.
Oh,
Not many photos of that one, I'm guessing, Jess.
Yeah.
Is it hard to have a good time in that situation? I'd imagine it would be, Jess. Do you sit in the corner a bit? You don't want to really get amongst it?
Yeah, it was a bit awkward, that's for sure, especially because my crush was there and I really wanted to dance with him. And, awkward 17-year-old. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Not with your face beaten up.
No.
It would have been so great if it was the hoof, though. Who's that girl with the Diamante horseshoe-shaped pattern on her forehead? You would have just jazzed that up a bit.
Thanks, Jess. Sue's in City Beach, hello.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Hi,
Okay, so we're talking about something happening to you ahead of the big event. What happened?
Well, it wasn't actually me. It was my ex-husband who was going for a big board position at a very important mining company and had been called into this big important meeting with a whole board sitting there ready to interview him. But the night before, we'd had a beautiful dinner of butterfish and butterfish, when you eat it, tastes delicious, but it's very, very oily. And anyway, so he's sitting on this lovely cloth chair at this very fancy office, and he got a bit of a nervous urge to start.
Yes.
No. So he slid out just a tiny little one that didn't make any noise whatsoever.
Well, because it was oiled up, it couldn't be captured.
And it was a great big oily patch on this very expensive
he sharted.
sitting room or chair, which we had to get up and then he had to move from that chair in his oiled up, so with the oily big patch on the seat of his pants, go and sit in another cloth chair in another very expensive boardroom with this big oily patch and left an oily patch there.
Did he get the job?
Go back. He did.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what? I wouldn't have hired him. I would have hired somebody that was in brine.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
We better check in with the Royals.
Oh.
I don't think they're getting enough attention.
No.
Yeah.
You know what the big news is today, though?
Tell me
There's not
more.
a wraparound, Nath. You know, there's a
That is-
headline
yes.
to Royals. This
Yeah,
is the
we've got
first
a
day we
banner.
haven't had a wraparound.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, our love for the
I mean,
monarchy is
it's
waning.
There's no wraparound, but there's still the first, 4 pages?
Yeah.
5.
Oh, okay, maybe they decided to put it on the inside because everyone's just taking the last and they just got, okay, well, let's get into it.
Everyone's sort of guessing what sort of king Charles is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty excited because Charles has hit an age and also shown some displays that he's going to be a shitty old bastard. and I am here for it.
There's no gracefully aging on the throne.
No, there's not.
So he's at a signing ceremony in Northern Ireland on Tuesday with Camilla, and he's been asked to sign some documents anyway, and he's had trouble with the pen.
Yeah, the fountain pen.
And,
Furious.
He's not happy.
Is it 12? 13, sir. Oh, God, the wrong date. Oh, God. No, look, it's going everywhere.
This is on top of being furious about there being too many things on the desk when he did an earlier sign, where he's like,
this bloody thing, it happens every single time.
let's get bigger desks, people.
And that's him in front of people.
I
Imagine,
know.
oh my God, I cannot wait.
In front of people with like the world's television cameras pointed at him and he's behaving like
I
that.
cannot wait.
I wondered if so the Queen must have been stroppy at some stage in her life, but it never seems to have come across. It seems like, anyway, from the outside, that they've kind of penned him now. That's it.
You know what it is, though? I reckon
Charles
Charles has gone, I've waited 70 years for this. You've had time to get it right. You've had time to prepare for this.
I agree with that.
Everything should be perfect.
But also they're like, we've never done it before. Because no one's
allowed to do it.
It's all new.
Anyway, there's this great video going around on TikTok, and it was when the Queen was here in Australia 22 years ago. She went and toured Bustleton, and she went to the YASSS Primary School.
Lovely.
How good.
It was really funny, actually. Their principal, Brian Devereaux, he only recently started as the principal weeks earlier at the school, and he got a call from his boss asking whether he'd be willing to host a very important visitor. He said, "Oh yes, who do you have in mind?"
Did he think it was like Fat Cat or somebody?
Yeah. Then his boss says, Elizabeth Windsor. And he said, "Oh, is she in education or something?" And then his boss said to me after a bit of a pause, "Brian, does the word Her Majesty or the Queen ring any particular bells with you?" And he was like, "Oh, are you joking?" So he's a bit worried because at the time, the Australian education system was under scrutiny about the quality of the education that we're giving our children.
So nothing's changed then?
Nothing's changed. And of course, our kids going to know who the Queen is? They thought that she was someone's nana. They did not have a clue who she was. Here's a little bit of the visit with a really great British commentator.
The Queen seemed taken aback at this persistence, but Jake wasn't too sure who she was either, and Chloe was completely bewildered by the whole visit. Meanwhile, Saul had thumped Jacintha. Perhaps the Queen was beginning to regret this.
You're not wrong.
They're all going, what's your name?
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
I want to tell you a lovely story.
Okay. Oh, I'm ready.
We're going to Tasmania, and a guy called MJ he answered an advertisement to help clean up a farm that had been sold.
Yeah.
So it had been sold. They needed help. It must have been an absolute mess. And so he's gone down there and said, "Yeah, I'll help you out." And while he was there, somebody said, "There's a horse living down there in the bush,
nice.
like the other side of a creek."
It's like living in the bush.
Living in the bush.
Like a wild horse?
It was a Clydesdale that had been neglected, so it kind of just and it was eating like what grass it could find, and it had eaten some bark and things. And it was like, oh, this poor horse. So it's very underweight. So he went down there. They called in the RSPCA, and the RSPCA negotiated with the guy that had owned the horse, and he agreed that MJ could take the horse away. So they've got a horse float in and thought, yep, okay, let's float this horse.
Yeah, we'll get him on.
And then Hazel, the horse, said no, would not go on the float. They tried twice.
How did they find out its name was Hazel?
Well, I guess the owner knew.
They went, Hazel.
Hazel.
What's your name? Hazel.
And so Hazel wouldn't go on the float. And they're like, well, what are we going to do? We've got to get Hazel out of here because, there's no food for her. She's not being looked after. So MJ said, well, I know what we'll do. We'll walk her back to my place.
Just around the corner?
40 Ks.
40 kilometres.
So they had to feed her up a bit to give it so she had strength, and they took lots of breaks, but he literally walked 40 Ks.
He didn't jump on her back at any stage, but
no.
Did no one tell him, you can ride horses, hey?
No, Hazel wasn't up for that. So he led her down the road for 40 Ks
sweet.
until he got to his house, including through Jeeveston, Nathan, which is where Rosehaven is filmed.
Wow.
So it does sound like something out of the
That would actually be really lovely.
40 Ks walked. They did it overnight so that she wouldn't get overheated. Rested lots. They had a vet looking after them to make sure that Hazel was okay.
Yeah.
Got there. Hazel now living her best life, has put on weight. Her ribs aren't showing anymore. She's just having a great time.
That would be really lovely because, as we know from that area, it would just be a whole lot of friendly people stopping and going, what's going on?
That's exactly what happened. He said people would wind down their windows as they drove. You all right, mate? As the guys just
it would have been lovely.
Trudging down the road.
It would have been a
with
really
horse.
nice walk.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a long way, though, 40
Ks is a long way.
The furthest I've walked is 20 Ks in one go, and it is a long way. That is I can't remember, 5 hours maybe of walking.
The most memorable walk that I was forced to take, it was when our bus, we went for an excursion out bush when I was at school in Kalgoorlie, and the bus had broken down, and then me and a girl that was on the volleyball team, so we had a volleyball camp, Molly, we had to get back into town to catch the bus which was leaving for Perth, and we only had a few hours leeway.
So this was your pre-season training.
Yeah, and then back then the school didn't care. So we were out on an excursion, and the school, we said we got to get into town. And they said we'll just grab your bag and go.
Off your trot.
So both of us just walked off into the wilderness, and that's where we were chased by an emus.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's one way to get you there. faster.
Yeah, chased by an emu. We were being stalked by an emu for a fair way, and then chased, and then Molly went up the tree. And then I had a branch ready to go it, and then it just kept on following us. So the whole time we were walking, and then it was one of those days where it was raining, then not raining, then really hot, and we were rationing water. But that is so bad to just send children off into the wilderness.
In what way?
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.